Good day, everyone. Welcome to Agile Leadership Learning Sessions. Today we have got Warren, who is seasoned Agile practitioner, RTE, and coach. In today's session, we are going to cover quite interesting topic: safe lean portfolio management. Throughout this session, we are going to do deep dive onto different aspects, probably 9 aspects of lean portfolio management. If you are watching this session on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, feel free to say hi by writing in comment section. Just mention your location and ask any question related to this topic. We are here to answer those questions. Even if you are watching this as a recorded session afterward, it doesn't harm to say hi and mention your location. We get encouraged by people who participate or watch these sessions and learn from it. So, what is lean portfolio management? See, lean portfolio management is an advanced topic. Typically, this is something which is explored by seasoned agile delivery manager, program manager, or PMO lead. If you are part of agile transformational journey and you are acting as a senior scrum master or agile coach, then this is the area which is not quite often touched. This is where you work hand in hand with PMO, or probably you set up the agile or lean portfolio management office and then come up with tangible guidelines when it comes to how to sponsor certain initiatives. So in lean portfolio manager program, you go through the 9 step. First phase is foundation, where you understand what is a lean portfolio management, what it is, why we need to look at portfolio management from different angle. Then what are the problems with project based accounting, how, if there's anything which is set as a vision by CEO or executive at the organizational level, how those things can be connected with tasks, stories, activities which are done by the team. So how to connect portfolio to enterprise strategy. Phase two is all about developing a portfolio roadmap. See, at the end of the day, you want a roadmap, you want to have clarity about where we are heading, why we are heading. So that lesson in advanced phase is all about how to define a portfolio roadmap, then estimate and come up with a portfolio epic costs, how to have budget guardrails, and towards expert phase, it's all about finding out what are the different events. When you talk about agile teams, there is a daily stand-up, sprint planning, retrospective, so on and so forth. If you want to scale that up at a portfolio level, what kind of events are expected, how to have a value stream budgets. Typically, we have seen that there is an annual budget, which probably doesn't provide you a lot of flexibility in order to focus on highest priority items. So how you can change that, and what need to be done if you want to have lean governance and coordination across multiple teams. So when we talk about portfolio, minimum what we are referring here is 12 teams, 150 people. Maximum it can go up to hundreds of teams. So let's do deep dive into this interesting session. Feel free to say hi in comment section, mention your name and location, and ask any question which you have got. So when we talk about business agility, typically safe scale agile framework is one which is most popular in the industry. Across world, there are several hundred of companies, large companies, who are following safe when it comes to adopting agile or when it comes to starting their agile transformational journey. So this is the roadmap in which you can see that there is a decision which is typically made by senior leadership saying that we want to go safe, we want to scale agile practices at an organizational level or team of teams level, and that's when once executives and managers have gone through the basic fundamental understanding about business agility, what are the different competencies are required, then first step which needs to be done is set up a lean portfolio office. Because at the end of the day, if you are trying to make certain changes, it always helps to have that clarity from the top. So there's nothing wrong in bottom up approach, but at the what we have seen throughout our experience over last 20-21 years is that agile practices quite often get strangled or stifled when it comes to going beyond teams or beyond team of teams, when it comes to funding, when it comes to identifying what need to be prioritized when. And that's where this lean portfolio management comes in picture. So let's find out if anyone want to explore this topic, why there is a need, or what is a lean portfolio management. So lean portfolio management is one of the 7 core competencies of business agility. Anyone who is familiar with agile scrum might be aware that okay, there is an agile team or team of teams where you got a scrum master, product owner, and team member. So that is the bare minimum thing which is required. And then technical practices, so that is team and technical agility. It's one of the seven core competencies of business agility in SAFe. Agile product delivery is something where you want to apply things at scale, and then you want a product owner, product management group who can define what is the right problem to solve and when. That's Agile product delivery life cycle competency. Beyond that, when you start exploring how to connect strategy, how to connect your OKRs, how to connect your strategic themes or objectives which are set at the organizational level with the work which is done on the ground, that's when lean portfolio management come in picture. And it has got three dimensions: strategy, investment, funding, agile portfolio operations, lean governance. Without going too much in jargons, as simple as it is, if you are running a company, if you have got a $30 million or $50 million, how you will assign that money to right initiative, right project, uh, where there is a lot of demand within. So there might be 100 projects, initiatives, or large chunk of work which is looking for that pie. Now, how do you ensure that which project initiative should be prioritized and then taken ahead by applying agile lean practices? So that's exactly what is explored in lean portfolio management competency. Now, why it's important? It's important because when you talk about problems with the project-based accounting, and being a project manager several years back, I have experienced this. I was running a big project for one of the leading bank in UK, and that project was revamping the IVR system, so telephone banking system, which was serving customer across Europe. Now that particular project was running for 2 years, and as you can imagine, within 2 years there were so many changes happening. And as a result of that, we were in the middle of project, and all of a sudden it has come to conclusion that there are other greenfield high priority projects, and people who were working on the projects were taken away. Now what happens in such cases? You lose the momentum, you struggle, you want to identify, justify why those people, why those teams need to be working on your project. uh, Traditional approach, other challenges are you always assume that you know everything upfront. Like when you are in the Jan 2023, you know what is going to happen by December 2025. Now you can imagine that in today's world there are so many factors which are influencing the way things are happening. It's quite difficult to be accurate, and that's where traditional approach doesn't stand. Another thing is that you have to also come up with a detailed business case which can justify how much money should be spent and why your project should be prioritized. So these are the challenges which are faced. And in case if you have still got your team members and funding available, and if there is a slippage, blame game sets in, where people blame each other. You have to get funding, additional funding. For that you need to again fight with the system, and at the end of day there is no real synergies or collaboration. So these are the challenges which are faced by project based accounting, where people are moved to the project rather than project or work is moved to the team. And that exactly problem is addressed in a lean agile approach, where you have got people, team of teams organized around value, and then you fund that value stream, you fund those team of teams, and then decide what scope need to be worked on by them. Warren, anything to add on challenges faced? I know you also have got really good experience working, dealing with different type of projects. Have you seen
Yeah,
any challenges when it comes to
absolutely.
funding model?
Absolutely. So the traditional approach, I think one of the biggest problems, that you have is like, budgets are allocated based on cost centers, and each cost center is one way or another responsible to deliver, whatever, those budget allocations were assigned for. The problem is, when people don't, when they can't deliver the deliverables, then there, like Sandeep said, there's a blame game. Somebody has to be held accountable. Some people might even end up losing their jobs, and that has happened in my past experience, where a general manager who was responsible for a certain project couldn't talk into what happened to the money, because it took 5 years later, management comes and asks, what did you do with the money we gave you? People are not going to remember either, because it's such a long time has passed. The good thing with lean portfolio management is, like any other agile cadence, that all the other competencies talk about, there are periodic checkpoints. whether it be through a QBR approach or whatever. There are periodic checkpoints to see, are we going in the right direction, and are we spending our money wisely? Is it going to give us some value? Do we need to pivot now, or do we need to kill it immediately and move on to something else? So this is definitely something that every organization should consider if they are if they want to thrive in a digital age of disruptions, because disruptions are going to happen one way or another. So
Spot on.
that's an example.
Yeah, that reminds me of my experience working with one of the biggest MNC, where because they had this annual funding cycle, and I was coaching at a portfolio level, and at the end of financial year there was a struggle to just spend money which is allocated, because next year you will get allocated only if you have been able to spend whatever money has been given to you last year.
Yeah.
So that is actually anti-pattern, which sets wrong precedents where people just spend, program managers, project managers just spend money because they want to get more money in the next annual cycle.
Yeah. All right. So I'll move on to connecting the portfolio to enterprise strategy. So the question is, what is enterprise strategy? Enterprise strategy is a set of actions that the leadership will set for the entire organization, how it is going to achieve its mission. This is generally done at a very high level. There's that very rare occasion where people at the middle level or bottom level get involved in it, but usually it's done by the senior leadership, because it's setting the direction where the company has to go. That could be going into new markets. It could be adopting a new technology. Whatever it is, it's something done at a very strategic level, at a very senior level. Now, strategy formulation, it requires a few key things. Like I said, it is something very continuous. As you can see in the slide that is there, that is a continuous formula. It's not something you do once and you come back 5 years later to see how are we going. No, it is something that happens periodically, regularly, and there's a continuous collaboration that is going there. There are continuous communications that are going up and down, back and forth, and then to bring alignment to the downstream portfolios. Everything has to get connected, and everybody has to be delivering to the same thing. In other words, what we're trying to say is, developing an effective strategy usually demands an awareness of what is known as the portfolio context, which you will learn in much detail in this course. This context generally includes what is known as the portfolio vision and portfolio budgets. There's also something called guardrails, which we will talk a little bit later, that generally governs how the portfolio is funded, how the investments are allocated for the portfolio to deliver what it sets out to deliver. How do we measure it in that case? How do we govern it? It's generally governed by factors that are called metrics, which generally includes outcomes, flow, and competency, which you will see in much detail in this course. Anything you want to add,
Yeah,
Sandeep?
yeah, and to simplify things, remember when we talk about strategy can be while working in one of the biggest telco. There was Da Vinci initiative which was running over several years, and it was tied with the strategy of simplifying product offerings. That particular company had got 100 products, and they wanted to deliver only dozen of products to customer, so that there isn't confusion, and people have got clarity about what to pick when. So that is a strategy which was executed through multiple release trains or team of teams. Around 1,600 software developers, team members were involved in simplifying those product offerings. So that's at that scale we are talking here. Or it can be as simple as you are offering your products in, let's say, in UK, and now you want to offer that product across Europe by making certain changes in your front end, back end, office, the way services are provided at shop. So that is the strategy which needs to be linked with your portfolio vision and should be guiding what work is done by the agile teams at the ground. And that's the reason I'm saying that this course is quite advanced course, typically targeted toward project managers, delivery managers, PMO leads, or agile consultants, senior scrum master or coaches who want to start coaching, consulting, providing guidance at a portfolio level or senior program level. By the way, if you are watching this video, feel free to introduce yourself. Just say hi, mention your name and location. And if you are watching this on YouTube, do like this video, subscribe to our channel, so that you will get notified for our upcoming Tuesday weekly sessions, and then you can also watch the recorded sessions. Uh, yeah. So let's move on and dig further on this interesting topic about connecting portfolio to enterprise strategy in lean portfolio management.
Thank you, Sandeep. So as you can see, enterprise strategy has many inputs into it. It starts with the mission, vision, and the core values of the organization. It also has the what drives the business into formulating this strategy. What are the distinctive competencies that we have to work around? What are our financial goals? Are we trying to tap into new markets? Are we trying to increase our market share by 25%? Are we trying to maximize our revenue and our profit by another 10% by a certain time, which are generally measured by smart objectives? And then what is our competitive environment? Are we trying to gain a niche competition, or are we trying to just follow somebody? Are we trying to maybe make some changes to something that is already there? Are we trying to disrupt the market by coming up with something completely new? So these are generally the inputs that formulates an enterprise strategy. But then out of that, there are two outputs that will come out of that. One is, how are we going to do it? With portfolio budgets. Something has to be funded somewhere, and the enterprise strategy formulation will then determine what are the portfolio budgets that we're going to be working with. And even more so, another outcome that comes out of the strategy formulation is what is called strategic themes. You will learn that in quite detail. Strategic themes basically sets the direction that the company is going to go. How is the company going to achieve that? What do we need to do in order for us to achieve the mission, the vision that we have set for this organization?
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
So just to add on top of this, remember we are talking about business agility. We are talking about make elephant dance, right? We are talking about moving hundreds and hundreds of people, team members in a same direction with a clarity, purpose, and having a vision. So for that matter, you need to be always on the toe. And when this strategy formulation is done, you look at what your competitors are offering. So if electric car is something which is offered by many players, and if you're a car manufacturing company, probably you need to start investing in innovative products which will help you support you to deliver electric cars. If your competitors are offering bespoke services wherein people can just use something rather than as a product, as a service, then that's where you need to start investing in. So there are many factors which influences your strategy, and that should dictate what work is done at the ground level. Now, one thing, one common myth is, we are agile teams, we don't need to come up with a plan. Even though Agile Manifesto says individuals and interactions over processes and tools, it says that we value things which are mentioned on the left side more than those are on the right side, but there's still value in those things which are on the right side, which is processes and tools, or responding to change over following a plan. So when you talk about roadmaps here, roadmap is created at a multiple level. When we talk about agile teams, they have got a daily stand up where they decide what I'm going to do today as an individual contributor, what I have done yesterday, and what are the blockers. So that's a daily plan which is more certain, more detailed. Then there's iteration or sprint plan, which is for 1 to 2 weeks based on your sprint. Again, it is at a high level, but still there is some certainty because nothing is drastically going to change in 2 weeks' time. Then there is a PI plan. So in a safe or scale agile environment, most often 5 to 12 teams come together and plan for the next quarter and say that this is what we want to commit for the next 3 months. After that, there's a PI roadmap which talks about what need to be done over next 3 to 4 or probably 1 to 3 PIs, which is nothing but 3 to 9 months. Beyond that, when we talk about strategic vision, portfolio solution vision, there this portfolio roadmap and solution roadmap comes in picture. So if you're talking about a big solution where you need to involve several hundred teams, several hundred team members, then you can't deliver solution just like that. You need to build it incrementally, and that's where this portfolio roadmap, solution roadmap comes in picture, which is 1 to 3 years roadmap at a high level, which provides some guidance. And remember, we are not talking about detailed plan; we are talking about roadmap. So this is how that roadmap looks like, and you will be exploring this topic in detail in Lean Portfolio Management course offered by Agility Academy. Here, you want to understand what is your North Star, what things you are trying to achieve. If it is you're operating, let's say, in one country, you want to expand within continent, then what things needs to be done to serve those millions and millions of customers, what things needs to be done so that your product can be offered in multiple languages rather than just one language which might be local. So portfolio roadmap defines what things needs to be done, and it's a forecast of work in coming quarter, in coming year, so on and so forth. The taxonomy or currency of delivery here is epic. Epic is nothing but anything which requires significant amount of work and investment. So this is where you create a lean business case, you try to get funding approval, you measure outcomes, you decide whether, okay, after delivering this epic, are we gaining whatever significant benefits we are expecting? Is there increase in demand? Is there increase in revenue or reduction in cost? So all those things are captured at epic level, and that is what creates, that is what is referred during your portfolio and solution roadmap. By the way, I can see that there are a lot of people who have joined across the world, and it's quite encouraging to see that. We got someone from Mumbai, India, someone Debbie from UK, we got Olan from US, as well as Janila. Sorry for my pronunciation, from USA. So just say hi if you are watching this video. Mention your location and feel free to ask any questions. We are here to answer those questions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel, and like this video, as well as follow us on LinkedIn. So let's move on and then find out. Okay, we have got this roadmap. We know our strategy is to, like, say, expand our offerings across entire Europe. And for that, these are the big rocks. These are the big investment which needs to be made. These are the business cases. Now, how do you define those epics in detail, and how do you estimate those epic costs? This is quite interesting topic where you apply design thinking approach. If you haven't heard about design thinking approach, human centered design thinking, it's a double diamond approach where you diverge and then expand all possibilities of achieving whatever problems you are trying to solve, and then you converge and then come up with a set of things which will help you to fulfill that vision. Similar approach is taken where you explore all possibilities of your current state of portfolio, where you use SWOT analysis, something called as a SWOT analysis and TAOS analysis, where you try to find out what are your strengths as a company or portfolio, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities in the market, what are opportunities within or threats which are presented by your competitors. And you use all those things in order to come up with your future state, saying that, okay, after 3 years, we want to be market leader in this industry. We want to be the most trusted, most reputed company within entire Europe. Now, based on that vision, based on that future state, you identify what might be the epics. And all this is done collectively. So it's not a one-man job. So there is something called as an epic owner. Epic owner is, you can say that, next version of product manager. So there's a product owner who help team to prioritize work. There's a product manager who helps entire release train or group or team of teams to prioritize their work. And then there's an epic owner who looks at the big initiative, significant initiative, and then along by working with portfolio manager, business owners, and others, product managers, defines the cost. Now, when it comes to epic estimation in terms of cost, we use t-shirt sizing. So we just, because no one can be accurate, and that's why focus is more on understanding, okay, are we talking about double XL wherein 2 million plus investment is required, or are we talking about some small initiative wherein only 100k or 200k is required? So that's quite interesting topic, which is again explored in lean portfolio management lesson. Warren, have you got any insights on lean budget guardrails? Because if you have got 100 million, I know every project manager, delivery manager want to have pie, have share within that big pie.
Sure. How I would generally explain lean budget guardrails is, think about the banks of a river. Okay, they're there to guide the water in the direction it should flow, but it's also there to make sure that the microorganisms that are living in there, the fish that are swimming in the river, they have a guidance in which way they have to go, whether it's going upstream or downstream. An organization, in order for an organization to thrive and be successful, they need to have these banks, they need to have these guardrails. Otherwise, everything will be everywhere. There won't be any accountability. No one will know what is going on. So we have this thing in lean portfolio management that are clearly called lean budget guardrails. So there are four lean budget guardrails that you will learn in this course. One is you are investing by horizons, and as you can see here, it goes from horizon 0 to horizon 3. Horizon 0 is when you're decommissioning a certain investment. It's no longer required. Horizon 1 is where the money is still coming in, so you want to keep that running. You want to that is BAU. That is where you're making the most of your revenue so far. Horizon 2, again, emerging markets, they're still new, so you still have to keep pumping into it to make sure that that product grows, and is it viable. You're still assessing it. But horizon 3, they're brand new concepts. This is where generally organizations will get in. Do we get into this? Do we test this product? Is it a hypothesis that we know something about? How are we going to tackle this? Do we do this? Do we not? So that is where the horizons come in. The other thing is capacity allocation. Very important topic that is generally overlooked by most people. If you don't have capacity, you're not going to deliver anything, regardless of what it is. It could be manpower, it could be capital investments, it could be anything, but you need to know what your capacities are. Mostly it is in forms of human resources, but if you don't have it, you're not going to deliver anything. It's that simple. Then after that, we will look at approving significant initiatives. Now, why we are talking about this is there are some initiatives that probably doesn't need to go up to the CEO level. That can be managed by your agile art team, or your release train engineer, or somebody above him, like your solution train engineer or something like that. But there are some initiatives, they are not consistent, they are not a continuous delivery, they are something that needs a strategic thinking behind that. You can't just put your hand into it. So there is that that approval stage, where the leadership will look into it. Do we get into this market? Do we not? Is it going to be viable for us? Is it not? And then after that, there's what is called continuous business engagement. For instance, Sandeep spoke in one of his previous slides, who is a business owner, and who is an epic owner. There is that continuous collaboration happening between certain key leaderships, because if you are not communicating, then we don't know in which direction are we flowing. We don't know whether we need some help, or whether we need to bring some people in, or some capabilities in. Business owners are generally, they prioritize, they help with the agile release train, whereas the continuous engagement with the business gives a communication platform, as to where the portfolio vision is headed, assisting with the preparation for the deliveries, generally in the form of the PI. They also attend the PI planning events, because there's something in the PI planning, where the business vision is called out at the very first day as one of the first activities. And also they come and they attend certain cadences like inspect and adapt, and help resolve problems. So
Yeah.
it
So
forms a organization. Sorry.
absolutely. So just assume if you are working at a PMO lean portfolio management level, an epic owner, you have got a business to run. And when you are running business, you want to keep satisfying your existing customers. Think about creating an innovative product so that you can capture new market, and then look after existing applications, existing systems, existing infrastructure which you have got in place. By the way, I can see that we have got people based in Poland, UK, Nigeria, from Paris, France, South Africa joining. So it's really encouraging. If you are watching this video, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, or follow our Agility Academy LinkedIn, Facebook page. We are delivering these sessions every Tuesday at the same time on different agile leadership topics. So let's continue our journey on value stream budgeting. So when you talk about value stream, remember value stream starts and ends with customer. Anything which is going to help you to deliver value, it's considered as a part of your value stream. That can be people, processes, products, system, information, everything. So when you talk about value stream budgeting, there's a new concept which is introduced in this program, Lean Portfolio Management Program, called as a participatory budgeting, wherein rather than someone deciding from top who need to do what, you involve people who are working on the ground, and then give them funding and say that, okay, here are the $100, Now you decide if there are 10 things which are there on our plate, 10 initiatives, 10 epics, where what fund, how much funding need to be assigned. And that's how you make it collective ownership. Same concept, similar to how it is done at a team level when you talk about committing towards a sprint goal or iteration goal. Here you are committing towards initiatives, epics, in terms of funding allocation. And that funding allocation happens to run the business and then to grow the business. And towards end, there's a lean governance and coordination because see, even if you have allocated funding for the quarter and then revisiting after every 2 quarters, you need to ensure that you are getting all those benefits which portfolio is supposed to deliver. So there's this three-way leadership: enterprise architect, business owner, and value management office, and lean agile center of excellence, who come together to check on ongoing basis how things are getting delivered. Are we being compliant with what has been promised, or whatever industry regulatory requirements are? How much we have actually spent? Have we actually achieved whatever outcomes we promised to be delivered? And then they help to connect those dots. So that's the overall structure about lean portfolio management course. See, this is a 2-day course, 2-day program. We in 30 minutes. What you have seen is just tip of the iceberg, right? So if you are keen, curious, and motivated to learn this topic as a product manager, portfolio manager, or senior program project manager, or even as agile coach or senior scrum master, if you aspire to coach leadership at a PMO level or portfolio level, then you can scan this QR code. For those who are joining this session, you can reach out to me. My WhatsApp number is +614518111164, and you can also connect with Warren. Uh, we are looking forward to help you, educate you, and empower you to lead your organization and lead your career in this direction. So you can scan this QR code and register to our upcoming program. Warren, anything you have to add before we can wrap it up?
Just the last one. When I did lean portfolio management, I was just a scrum master. So anyone who is aspiring to grow, by all means, jump on it. It's definitely a valuable course. It helped me. It will definitely help you.
And I'll share my experience. I wasn't fortunate like Warren, who did it while he was Scrum Master. I did this course when I was working with one of the big company as an agile coach, and while coaching a PMO office and working with portfolio managers and program managers, because you need to talk in their language. If you start using language which is alien to them, they will not appreciate your value, and you can't understand their problems. So probably if you want to lead portfolio, if you want to coach, mentor, program portfolio managers, or even as a product manager, you want to move up the value chain, this course is highly recommended. So scan QR code and then enroll to one of our program. Just quick reminder: every Tuesday, Agility Academy is hosting this Agile Leadership Learning Sessions. Last week, we have looked at product owner, product management. Before that, Agile Coach, 7 core competencies of business agility. So that's what's happening. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can just search for Agility Academy and like this video. You will get notified. And you can also watch the recorded session from earlier weeks. You can follow us on LinkedIn. We are pretty active. You can interact with us on that. Next Tuesday, we are going to talk about Agile Leadership Journey by PMI, Project Management Institute. So stay tuned, be well, and give us a shout if you need any help. Have a good one. Thank you for today. Cheers.
See you. Bye.